I just got a notification that said how shorts help grow your channel. I'm pretty sure people don't really watch the shorts. If you don't know, the shorts that I make for this channel are different than the long form, but I've been labeling them Chapter X recap. So like Chapter 6 recap, Chapter 7 recap. I think people just think it's like the same thing. So I'm probably going to switch to highlights. By the time you see this, the old ones will have been completely separate recordings. And then I'm just going to take whatever I've done from the main chapter and go, hey, what's funniest? And then make that a highlight. And then we'll see if the algorithm loves me. You gotta get people in on the highlights and then get them watching the long form content. Unless you're one of my original viewers, someone who liked the long form content from the beginning. Not too many of you. Brett, I think last I checked, it's growth slowed down, by the way. I don't know if you saw like a few videos ago, I was like, hey, I got 50 subscribers. That's just because episode 2 did really well. And then it gave me a bunch of subscribers very quickly. It's been 2 more weeks since then. 3 weeks. I think it's 3 weeks into the channel, and I'm only at like 90 subscribers. So it slowed. I mean, that's cool. I think that's cool, but I've slowed down a lot. You gotta be consistent if you want to grow your YouTube channel. Well, at least we know. At least I know that I'm on Exodus. Some people are like, make longer videos. There's more videos that are longer that are coming. I hope it doesn't ruin the channel. If people want to watch 20 minutes of this at a time, you either like me or you don't. I think for most people, it's don't. Or maybe I'm just an undiscovered gem. We're all unique. The birth of Moses. That's where we are. We're on chapter 2. Moses is getting born. I got a feeling this guy's going to do some big things for Egypt. I got a feeling. Now, a man of the tribe of Levi. Is it Levi? Is it the guy I played in Joseph in the Technicolor Dreamcoat? Now, a man of the tribe of Levi married a Levite woman. That makes sense. Did they call them by their tribes? She's a Levite. And she became pregnant and gave birth to a son. Who's it going to be? When she saw that he was a fine child, she hid him for 3 months. What does a fine child mean? Why are they talking about this kid like he's China? As in the dishware, not the country. But when she could hide him no longer, she got a papyrus basket. A papyrus. You say papyrus, right? The cadence goes in the middle syllable. Papyrus. She got a papyrus basket for him and coated it with tar and pitch. Here you go, little baby. Just stick in there. Just stay in there. Then she placed the child in it and put it among the reeds along the bank of the Nile. That sounds like a great way to get malaria. I don't know if that was a problem in Africa at this time, but boy, would that be awful. No bug spray back then. His sister stood at a distance to see what would happen to him. Moses had a sister? I actually did not know that. What happened to her? Did we get to hear more about her at some point? Then Pharaoh's daughter... Wait, Pharaoh's daughter? What? Oh, yeah. I think that's how Moses... no spoilers. Then Pharaoh's daughter went down to the Nile to bathe, and her attendants were walking along the riverbank. She saw the basket among the reeds and sent her female slave to get it. What a cush life is the Pharaoh's daughter. Now go get that basket. And you see those reeds over there? Go in there. She opened it and saw the baby. That would be a surprise. I would not expect to find a baby in the reeds of the Nile, especially with all those alligators around. He was crying and she felt sorry for him. This is one of the Hebrew babies, she said. How does she know it's a Hebrew baby? Is it because he was vigorous? In the last chapter, they described the Hebrew women as vigorous women. And I talked about Vigoroth, the Pokemon. He was really viable in PvP until a recent season update. I don't know why I play PvP Pokemon Go. I'm so bad at it. I mostly just go there to lose. It makes my life worse. I don't know why I do this thing that makes my life worse. Then his sister asked Pharaoh's daughter, shall I go and get one of the Hebrew women to nurse the baby for you? So they just have, is this like Mad Max? They just have women sitting around waiting to nurse newborn children? And she doesn't just say, like any woman, she says, should I go get one of the Hebrew women? Once again, let's keep it within the races. No one really points that out. Everyone just goes, oh, it's the Bible, so it's fine. I think it's kind of weird that they stress it so hard. Should I get one of the Hebrew women to nurse this child? Yes, go, she answered. No hesitation from Pharaoh's daughter. Yeah, get one of the Hebrew women. Like, I want to keep this baby, but I want to nurse it. And she's like, what about one of the Egyptian women? She's like, it better be a Hebrew woman. So the girl went and got the baby's mother. What? How does she know that it was the mother? What was the point of the mother putting it in the reeds in the first place? How do they know that it's her? Pharaoh's daughter said to her, take this baby and nurse him for me. So all she did was put Moses in the river to get the Pharaoh's daughter attached somehow, and then she brings it back anyway and goes, hey, nurse your baby. I'll give you money. How does that work? And I will pay you. So the woman took the baby and nursed him, her own son. When the child grew older, she took him to Pharaoh's daughter, and he became her son. Why? Just to help him survive, I guess? That was the weirdest reverse Uno in the Bible so far. She named him Moses, saying, I drew him out of the water. I guess that's what Moses means. So I was born in the early 90s. And when I was a kid, the Titanic was released. Is it the Titanic or is it just Titanic? Titanic was released. And I was like 7 years old. I think it came out in like 1998 or something. 97, 98. And my friends at school were like, yeah, there's a scene where Jack draws Rose naked. That was the way he worded it. He draws Rose naked. And for some reason, my kid brain thought that meant in the sense of like when you draw a card from a deck of cards. So I was like, how did he do that? Why was there a card of naked Rose in a deck of cards in the first place? And then how did he know to draw that out of the deck of cards? And I could not figure it out. And for some reason, my friends couldn't explain it to me. I wasn't allowed to watch Titanic. I didn't even understand why they got to. I was in second grade. We were all in second grade. My second grade friend had seen Titanic. And for a kid, it's a scary movie. You might think, oh, it's historical. Oh, it's like a romance. Yeah, watch that movie again and see this guy tumble to his death and then bounce off of a smoke pipe off of a ship. And there's nudity and sex. I wasn't allowed to watch those things when I was that age. Also, just for consistency, I said I was homeschooled in the last episode. That didn't begin until third grade. So this is when I was still in public school. Yeah, that's just because she said she drew him out of the water. I thought of the word in that sense, being drawn out of something. Moses flees to Midian. So I guess we're not a baby anymore. Maybe this is a little kid. This little toddler running to whatever Midian is. I guess that's a city. That sounds like something out of Star Wars. One day after Moses had grown up, he went out to where his own people were and watched them at their hard labor. Good job, guys. Yeah, I know I'm living with the Pharaoh, but I'm just like you. He saw an Egyptian beating a Hebrew, one of his own people. I remember this. Looking this way and that. Why is that the way it says it? This does feel like a translation out of the mid-1900s. When did this come out? I think it's the 80s. This translation came out in the 80s. This is the way someone from the South speaks. Looking this way and that and seeing no one, he killed the Egyptian and hid him in the sand. Yeah, straight cover-up with the murder. I haven't seen this since Cain and Abel, I don't think. He's just like digging sand away. He's talking to the slave. He's like, oh, you gotta help me, man. We gotta hide this body. I mean, if he's grown up in the Pharaoh's place, isn't he just kind of like above the law? Maybe not in this society. I don't know. The next day, he went out and saw two Hebrews fighting. He asked the one in the wrong. Oh, there's one in the wrong. He asked the one in the wrong, why are you hitting your fellow Hebrew? You guys know we gotta stick together. Us Hebrews gotta stick together. The man said, who made you ruler and judge over us? I thought, am I wrong? Is he not a ruler? I just assumed because he grew up in the house of the Pharaoh that he's got it better than everybody else. And by assumed, I mean that's his status in the Prince of Egypt. Are you thinking of killing me as you killed the Egyptian? Man, this guy's throwing words around. This is pretty aggressive for someone who's a part of the royal family. Then Moses was afraid and thought, what I did must have become known. This is classic Bible character. I just realized there might be consequences for my actions. I felt no guilt until it could possibly affect me. When Pharaoh heard of this, he tried to kill Moses. But Moses fled from Pharaoh and went to live in Midian. Man, yeah, pretty extreme stuff in just a few sentences. Where he sat down by a well. I didn't realize that was the end of the sentence. He fled to Midian where he sat down by a well. Such strange details to point out. Or at least a way to word it. Like you would think if they're trying to mix like artistry in the way they speak, it'd be like he went to Midian and sat down by a well. But if you say where he did this thing, it makes it sound like just a much bigger deal, like a much more dedicated action. Like you would word it this way if you were like, he went to Midian where he started a family. You know, much bigger thing. But like sitting down by a well, I mean, to each their own. Word things how you want, Bible. Now, a priest of Midian had 7 daughters. Oh, we've seen this before. Go sit by the well, get a wife. That's what Jacob did a few books ago, several chapters ago. A while ago, I don't remember when it was. And they came to draw water and fill the troughs to water their father's flock. Some shepherds came along and drove them away. But Moses got up and came to their rescue and watered their flock. Wait, the shepherds were driving away the daughters or the flocks? I guess it doesn't matter. What a hero Joseph is. Handsome young Joseph. Newly minted murderer Joseph. Fled from his city to pretend to be innocent. Yeah, he was just defending a Hebrew. That justifies murder. We gotta hide this body. When the girls returned to Reuel, their father, he asked them, why have you returned so early? You're supposed to be watering my flocks. What good are 7 daughters if they're not flock watering? They answered, an Egyptian rescued us from the shepherds. So they did drive away the daughters. He even drew water for us and watered the flock. Drew water. And where is he? Reuel asked it's Reuel. Reuel. And where is he? Reuel asked his daughters. Why did you leave him? Invite him to have something to eat. Maybe I can get rid of one of you. None of you found a man. All you're good for is drawing water. Moses agreed to stay with the man who gave his daughter Zipporah to Moses in marriage. It's like Gomorrah from, Sodom and Gomorrah. I was about to say Guardians of the Galaxy. I made that exact joke in the Sodom and Gomorrah chapter. That was so long ago. So Zipporah is Moses' wife. Didn't even know he had a wife. Kind of makes sense. Everyone in the Bible needs a wife to have value. Can't be single. No. Zipporah gave birth to a son. Congratulations, Moses. Nice job, guys. And Moses named him Gershom, saying, I have become a foreigner in a foreign land. That's nice, Joseph. His son comes out and he's just, I have become a foreigner in a foreign land. How did I get here? Was it the murder? During that long period, the king of Egypt died. Oh, that's good. Maybe you can get away with returning to your land without the consequences. That's exactly what Moses was wanting. No consequences. The Israelites groaned in their slavery and cried out. In their cry for help, because In their cry for help, this is another instance of the Bible just wording things strangely. I'm going to read the whole thing. The Israelites groaned in their slavery and cried out. In their cry for help because of their slavery went up to God. That's how the sentence is. Their cry for help due to their slavery went up to God. This is one of those instances where your situation is dire enough that it reaches heaven. You normally get stopped by the clouds. God doesn't really hear them. They kind of hit the top of the ceiling of heaven, but they don't get all the way through to God. But the groaning of the Israelites was great enough that it pierced into the heavens. And God went, Are my people suffering? This is one of the ways in which I am most traditional. Time to go help my people. God heard their groaning and remembered his covenant with Abraham, with Isaac, and with Jacob. Oh yeah, I said I would multiply them. I guess if I want what I wanted a while ago, they're going to have to survive. I'm going to have to do something, or my Sims aren't going to make it. So God looked on the Israelites and was concerned about them. So far, he's not even doing anything. He's just like, this is concerning. Thought these guys could just kind of run themselves. How does deism exist in light of this? There's the belief, I mentioned it before on the channel, but there's the belief that God just started the world and then let it run. He doesn't interact with it after creating it, but he's clearly doing so here. If he's hearing the prayers of the Israelites, and then he parts the clouds and goes, things aren't looking so good down here. All the people I started off are becoming slaves. I better do something about this. He clearly interacts with the world. Do deists just believe he did it for a little bit and then stopped? Did they not read the Bible? I mean, that is a common thing for a lot of Christians, I guess. But now I can say that I read the Bible. And then I can be condescending. And then Christians can be like, I hate atheists. They're so condescending. Then I can be like, but did you read the Bible? And they'll be like, this is why I hate atheists. Even though I haven't read the Bible. I'm not going to entertain this conversation. That's my impression of a stubborn Christian. That's the end of chapter 2. I'll see you guys for the next one.